There was a model up on the shelf, I had to have it for myself. Well, I did it. I came to Hurricane Hobbies and got all three, although one's for Steve. Don't judge. You'd have done the same. Well, hello, Glue Troopers. Max and Max's Models here, your humble host. Went down and bought all three kits today, the Lost in Space Jupiter 2, the Forbidden Planet CF57D, and for Steve over at Steve's Model Mania, I got Robbie the Robot with Deanne Francis. And I really wanted the Lost in Space kit. Well, I don't know, it's kind of a tie between the two. Let me explain. As the fates would have it, when I got home, Dan Monroe over at Movies, Monsters, and Music had just posted a video about the cool Lost in Space toys. Now, it's like the Styrene River. It knew the day for me to go by. All you guys are telling me life is short. Kits are not that expensive. I did get a lot purchased, which helped out a lot. And next time I'm up in the DC area, I'll give Robbie to Steve. But getting back to it was kind of at first it was a tug of war. I really wanted the C57D because to me, Forbidden Planet is really kind of one of the most important sci-fi movies ever made. Well, I should say influential. And it was, a lot of people think it was the first serious science fiction movie. And it had the command triumvirate of the captain and the doctor and the first officer, and which is still pretty much standard in a lot of spacefaring sci-fi to this day. And I just think it was a very influential movie. It foreshadowed the better science fiction that was to come. And of course, its relationship to Star Trek is pretty obvious. Lost in Space, although I enjoyed watching it as a kid, like I say, I never built the models or had the toys, but I still being a television and movie buff, I find it very interesting, and it just one of those things I never got around to, and it was time to buy. And since they were together, I was kind of like, and Robbie's there, like, this is sort of the Great Styrene River talking to me. And after I got them, I got them home, and sure enough, there's Dan's video. I'm like, which I'll link below. I'm like, oh my gosh, it really is, the Great Styrene model sci-fi movie universe ether wom 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 all pulling together. Use the Force, Luke. So I'm really happy with it. And while I was there, to kind of shift gears a little bit, talking about how the Styrene River and apparently the History River kind of have a confluence at times. I had just watched a video on the Britannic and the Olympic and of course the Titanic. And Ian was asking me about the Olympic. Apparently he had also just seen something on it, how it had this long and colorful career, but almost nobody's heard of it. Everybody knows the Titanic for obvious reasons. And to a lesser extent, the Britannic, which is one of the unluckiest ships ever. In fact, I just watched a video, I believe it was by Ocean Liner Designs. I'll see if I can find that and link it below also, about how the Britannic had such bad luck. Well, these were all sister ships, but since the Britannic was on the slipways, when Titanic went down, changes were made. But what we're getting at is that you could convert a Titanic kit into an Olympic or a Britannic. Although I think the Britannic would probably take a fair amount of work. But still, it's doable if you're the hardcore modeler. One other thing, when I was looking at these are the polar, going back to the sci-fi kits, I just want to mention that these are the Polar Lights kits, and this Robbie, which is still in the solo, that I got for Steve. Almost got it for myself, but it was one of those things that, too many projects, a lot going on, but it was, that was the universe talking to me. And I'm going to see if I can get Dan to come on a live stream with us at some point. In fact, I need to send him an email as soon as I post this. So, Dan, if you're out there, you'll be getting an email from me shortly. And there's one more thing before we go. This was sent to me by Glue Trooper. I recently built this SR-71 model. It's the 1/72nd scale by Revell. But he sent me pictures of his box, and it has 1/72nd scale on front, but 1/48 scale on the side. So I went scrambling to look at my old box to see if I had the same thing. Could not find the box. I didn't think I'd thrown it away, but I couldn't find it. But because I thought I had a bunch of spare parts in it. I've checked the office and the Tarbis. I don't know where it is. I was out there working on the Caribou earlier, getting the seams on the nose to disappear, and had a little issue painting it. The model took paint right onto the plastic without any trouble until I did the cowlings. Then it ran and thinned out, so I went ahead and primed those, and tomorrow I'll hit them with the paint. Been working on the Vietnam build and Viewers build 50, so I'm really, really busy. It's a good thing I got a bunch of days off. I am planning a live stream this Saturday night, 7 p.m. as usual, East Coast, 2300 Zulu. We'll hopefully see you there. And one last thing just before I go. I was sitting in the parking lot waiting for my wife, and I was parked in front of this Jeep, and I was thinking, man, tell me that vehicle is not made for the Maximum Overdrive 2 movie. Anyway, that's what I have for today, guys. Take care of yourselves, and as always, model on. Well, this is for Steve's Model Mania, and I went ahead and got the Lost in Space Jupiter 2 and the C-57D because Ian made me Ian and Wolf both made me a really super sweetheart deal on the package deal. So I'm walking in with a fat wallet and walking out with an empty wallet and an arm full of models. Don't judge. We'd all do it. You'd have done it. I did it. You'd have done it too. You know you would have. I came to the hobby store with a wallet fat, bought some kits, now my wallet's flat. E-I-E-I-O. Don't buy the sci-fi kits, get fun and give you fits. A can of TS5 is all I originally came in here for.